Hey everybody, it's Sean Tremblay, and today I'm going to be talking with you a little bit about this automated driver's license exam I've been building these past few months. So just a quick refresher course about what's actually on a test. We basically have to incorporate something that handles merges, can handle a complete stop, that can detect other vehicles that are within proximity to you, and that you're within your lanes. Okay? So, just a little bit about these parts we have here. This is our merge detector. This basically goes on the side of your car, right next to your side view mirror. So what this does is detect that another car that might be to your side is an appropriate distance for you to be able to make a merge. And it sends a signal that lets the main program know, hey, it's okay to merge, right? Secondly, we have this orientation sensor here to make sure that you're handling the vehicle appropriately at all times. You know, there's a big difference between making a sharp turn and making a smooth, gradual one. So, especially when you're making a merge, it's hugely important. Finally, if I can direct you over here, we have this facial detection module that can detect where your eyes are looking at any given time. So you can make sure that when you're turning or when you're merging, that you're doing it in an appropriate way, right? A way that shows that you have good behavior as a driver. Now, finally, we have this lanes detector here. It's going to be detecting other cars in front of you and your lanes. Okay? Well, with that, let's get driving. Alright, but real fast, let me just introduce the visceral component of this project, this map right here. So, as we're progressing along this route, you'll see this black dot move along this red line all the way over to this blue dot. That's going to signal that we're moving along this pre-programmed route and that we're not straying too far off the given path, right? Alright, so now that you know what's going on, let's get started. Alright, so an important aspect to see here is that any given street is going to have a speed value assigned to it, right? Or at least along a given stretch. But knowing that, we can assign certain GPS coordinates to the start and stop points of those speed markers, as we're calling them. Those are like your traditional 35 on this street, 30 on a residential area. And so we have to be making sure that while you're along that street, you're going that given speed, right? So as we're nearing our next stop, Duval, we're going to be introducing this camera here and the aspects of the test that relate to staying within your lines and not being too close to any vehicle. Alright, so as we're on this street, I'd like it to be noted that we have to be within our yellow and white lines. Or, they can be any color really. But frankly, all that's important is that when you're going a certain speed, that you're a relative distance away from any car. So, if I were to stop right here, I have to be a given distance from this car in front of me here. And so, like, as I'm getting to zero, I would have to have been a certain distance away from him. Introducing the handling section of this test, and that relates to this sensor right here. Now you'll notice that I just made a pretty wide turn, and this thing didn't move at all. And that's because of this fairly universal design that we have here with these Velcro straps. Now these can go on any prong of the wheel to stay out of the driver's way. But what's important here is that it doesn't move at all. I can make this, I can just toggle this very aggressively as if I were shaking the car or doing whatever. But what's important is that it can recognize a smooth handling of the car versus something like, say, a sudden jerk. Because everyone can feel a sudden jerk, but maybe your camera can't, or your basic computer here can't. But this certainly can. Alright, so now we're nearing the end of our route. Alright, so that was our route. As you can see, that was basically the test that we have so far. There's our map there. And for the most part, I mean, it's fairly universal. You know, we just got a little dash cam there. Very easy to take off. There we are. And then I can just move this maybe if I want to make it less obstructed. I could move it somewhere here. Could move it, you know, a little bit further down. And yeah, then you can just move this as necessary, right? Like I said, very universal. Those merge detectors out there, you know, those they got magnets for metal doors, and they have Velcro straps for, well, that little area between a car and the side view mirrors. Everything's built to be universal. That was definitely a major design tenet of this. And hey, even this sensor here. Every steering wheel's got at least 3 prongs, and this can attach to 1 or 2. It'll be very sturdy, as you can see. It's not always going to be, you know, a Lexus SUV, right? But yeah, so basically that was our test. If you have any questions about it, you know, don't hesitate to send me an email. My information is down in the description below. Thank you, and I hope you enjoyed.